research and planning stages of the project were very similar to our AS research and planning stages. We had to analyse style models we found online in order to find the conventions used in short films. We looked at what was good and what was bad about them to give us an idea of the plot and what we needed to do. The short film analysis could be found on our blogs. To find the short films we use websites such as YouTube, VideoMe and Short of the Week. To find different and interesting short films is a way to find popular shorts, as well as to find pickup reviews.
We selected a range of different short films. At this point we weren't exactly sure what we're going to be doing for our short films, so it gave us some ideas. The research for the ancillary tasks were very similar to the AS again. However, we found it difficult to find posters and reviews for short films, so some of the ones we used were for conventional films. For example, we analysed sight and sound, which though they sometimes review short films, most of the time we review full-length films. However, this doesn't matter because they still feature the same conventions no matter the length of the film. So we analysed these and uploaded them to our blog.
To display my work, I used a range of websites such as SlideShare, Kazoo, Prezi, Microsoft PowerPoint, then upload them into different websites. This includes things like Maze, in order to create the presentation itself and display them in a range of methods in order to ensure we have the highest mark.
Audience feedback is essential in the research stage, as it allows you to find out what your audience wants, what they'd like and what they'd enjoy for your project. To do this, we created questionnaires on SurveyMonkey. This is a good way to get audience feedback, as I can link it to my blog so our followers can answer it, but it also allows a wider range of results. It's not just from peers, which it would be if we created a physical survey and handed it out. The wider range of results means we're going to get more feedback, more ideas of what we're going to do with a short film. As well as this, the survey online is easy for the audience to do, as well as it being easier for me to see the results. The target audience is around 16 to 21, where modern technology is their life, and I'm sure they would much rather take a survey online. It's much more appropriate for the age group.
The construction of our auxiliary tasks are similar to our AS project from last year. We had to take photos and then edit them in Photoshop, especially since we're doing a short film, which meant we had to create a poster, same as last year. We had to find high quality images, so that meant we had to have the camera, tripod, we had to get used to similar technologies we used last year with developments. We had to edit the photos in Photoshop, which we were comfortable with since we used it last year, but since we also made a review we had to use InDesign. Although we briefly used it last year, it did have to be developed further, which meant we were exploring new skills. We had to change the colours of the photos, we had to edit the backgrounds, and it just took our skills to a new level.
So like for the poster in Photoshop we had to like put the photos together, then for mine especially I had to blur one of the photos out in the background, which made the first one clear, where Jamie had a range of different photos and Polaroids. Then we had to add the different fonts, so we had a key font that were kept between the two posters. And forgot where we're going with this.
Although we did have to share a house style, which was why we kept the same fonts, we did have to show differences in the projects to show that it was our own independent work. And this was the same for the review as well. Because the review didn't have to have the same house style, whereas I used the structure from Little White Lies, Charlotte used the structure from Sight and Sound. So when we were creating that, we didn't share anything between it apart from the key information like directors, the actors' names, the date release, things like that. But as for that, actually the structure and creating the review was made completely different through the use of InDesign. Mine was very simplistic, following the Little White Lies structure, whereas Charlotte's was more modern and it used a lot of colours compared to mine. Whereas mine was simple black and white with the key image, which was the only colour.
Mine showed a bit more detail because I had like credits and everything like that.
Whereas mine just kept
review.
the details in the text with the names.
My main role for the short film was actually filming. I spent a lot of time with the camera and learned new skills that I never knew before, especially since I never used a camera to film, only for taking photographs. I put the shot knowledge from AS level to work to get a range of different shots. So for example, we're using close-up shots to show the text messages and the 5-pound note, and using long or medium shots to show what the character is doing. Lighting and location are two main things we needed to think about for filming. Lighting was a pretty big issue for both of us in filming and editing, because it was just the different amount of different locations we used.
And the influence of the locations, such as windows, made it really hard when the lighting changed in the film, which made it really hard to edit.
Jamie did do most of the editing, but I did join in and put my input in at points so she could know what I wanted as well as what she wanted. So I did learn some new skills for iMovie, as this is something I'd never used before, but I'll pass the editing over to Jamie.
For the editing, there was a lot to consider, especially since some of the shots had a lot of lighting issues, especially shots within the protagonist's house and in the restaurant scene. This is due to locational lighting, which we couldn't help, especially in the restaurant at the very beginning scene. There was such an issue to find a restaurant that would accept us that once we found one, there was nothing we could do about the lighting, because we had to be in the back corner out of the way of the customers as part of the agreement of letting us film.
The window.
So from that, all we could do was separate the clips as close as we could to where the lighting changes, and edit it using the adjustments in order to try and equal the lighting out so that they were of similar shades. This hasn't always worked in places, and in some shots where the lighting has been edited, it's made it a little bit pixelated, but unfortunately due to the location, that's the best that it can be. So we've done as much as we could to improve it, and it is a massive improvement from what it started with, but it's still got a couple of issues. There's a lot more we did, including taking out the sound. We completely cut the sound from all of the video clips and added in music, which we both sat through, looking through YouTube and sites like that to agree upon music that fits the feel of it while fitting our own sort of style. This had to be edited, it had to be cut and faded in and out of each scene. Especially with the flashback scene as well, that had to be cut down, that had to be changed into a black and white to show that it was a flashback and that it was easier for the audience to follow. We had to cut a lot. Initially I did all of the cutting, but I did a rough cut until I could sit down with Charlotte and we could finalise the cutting to get it close, because we were massively over the time limit of 5 minutes. So we had to sit for a long time and deliberate what scenes were important, which scenes weren't, and cut it down so we could fit it within the time limit. I think that's all the key points, John.
Yeah. Other major media technologies that we used was YouTube, which is how we're going to display the short film. And then we're going to upload to Blogger. Blogger we've used throughout the full progress to just display the progress step by step of what we've been doing throughout the year. Showing the research, how we've made the ancillary tasks, updating when we've been filming, just to show everything. SoundCloud is another one that we've used, just a different way of displaying the work, just by recording what we're going to say. Anything else?
Not really, and the evaluation was just similar to the research that we did. We used the same sort of presentations and ways of displaying our work as we did through that Prezi Kazoo,
Monkey,
Slide Boom, YouTube videos.
Just a range of ways to present the work.